Hey, I'm Adam Post, publisher of College of the Dead, the Zombie Apocalypse graphic novel, publisher of more than 1,000 comic books, been in independent comics book publishing for 30 years, took some years off here and there, but published a lot of comics, and I'm the former executive board member of Platinum Studios, the comics, the film public company. Cowboys and Aliens is one of our movies, pretty damn good. So today we are going to talk about promotion on ComicsGate, Ethan Van Sciver's tweet from just yesterday on Halloween, where he said, "I won't promote anyone who isn't ComicsGate because," and then he explains why. And then I'm going to explain a little more to you about it and what I tweeted in response to clarify a little bit. First, I need you to subscribe to this channel. It's a big help to me. Click the bell for notifications. Go ahead and like and share this video. So Ethan says, "I won't promote anyone who isn't ComicsGate because," what he's talking about promoting it, he means retweeting their tweets. He means having them on his YouTube channel, which is very successful. It's the biggest ComicsGate channel, and it's got more than 100,000 subscribers. And of course, ComicsGate is a consumer and creator movement that promotes comic books that do not have a social, political agenda. They're just good comics. And they're from people who want to make good comics and great comics that haven't had the chance because of the big companies coming in and putting in their ideas about pushing social, progressive, anti-Trump, whatever political garbage. So as Ethan explains, associating with Ethan can destroy your mainstream career. What that means is if you are a popular DC Comics artist, or even if you're a not so popular Marvel Comics artist or DC Comics artist, if you associate with Ethan's channel and the nickname ComicsGate, the hashtag ComicsGate, that could cause companies to say, hey, we don't want to work with you. Not because the corporations care so much, but because editors and executives in charge that are pushing their social agendas will say, hey, we don't like you. We don't want to give you work. And they'll kind of throw you out on the street. Back in the day, in the early 1990s, independent publishers like mine had a hard time finding talent because a lot of times the big companies wouldn't hire you. Marvel wouldn't hire you if you went and worked for an independent company. Or we had John Tartaglione consulting us on our color science fiction comics universe, Triumphant Comics, most notably publishing Chromium Man. And John Tartaglione, who was listed in our publisher credits because he was consulting us, was told by Marvel, God rest his soul, he's not around anymore, that if he was to work with us, they would refuse to give him any kind of work. And he's not the only one who had it. Jim Shooter had the same problem with Valiant Comics. They had to go and they had to grow their own talent in a vat, as they called it, which was them having an in-house art studio. They had Barry Windsor Smith in there and Bob Layton in there, but they had several other artists, but a lot of new guys. Joe Quesada was one of those new guys. I don't know what happened to him. But in any case, they would develop and train the new talent. So it's not that unusual that people get blacklisted from mainstream comics. And it's been done for decades, and it's going to happen again, potentially, if you associate with ComicsGate. Now, Ethan explains his audience demands to know if the creator he's promoting shares their values before they open their wallets. What he's saying is, when you're on his YouTube show, and I've been on a few times, I've been fortunate enough, it's an endorsement. You know, people get to see, you know, a flash of something, College of the Dead or whatever, and Ethan says, oh yeah, I looked into the project, which he usually does, and he always does, I'm sure, he did in my case, looks at the content, talks to the creator a little bit, and understands and sees that that person's kind of getting around and that other people consider that person to be a good person who's serious about what our values are for ComicsGate. And yeah, it's safe to associate with that person. So it's really like an endorsement. Now, you have to keep in mind, those are his customers when they're watching his channel. Those are people that like and trust Ethan, not just with money, but with their personal interest. So if you're someone who likes someone and they suggest something and you have a bad experience with it, it reflects on that person. Lastly, his show is called ComicsGate Live. When he does have other creators on, and sometimes he's got as many as 10 people on promoting their individual titles, the name of the show is ComicsGate Live. I do a show called ComicsGate Tonight, much smaller show. And John Malin used to do a show, he will again soon, called Comicsgate Presents. And when we use Comicsgate in the title, we're making a promise to the potential audience and to the audience and to any customers that this is Comicsgate related, Comicsgate values. Okay, so that's why. If it's Comicsgate Live, you've got to have Comicsgate stuff on there. Ethan has made some exceptions for some longtime friends like Billy Tucci sometimes, who is not a Comicsgate guy. And he may or decide to make an exception again in the future. It's up to him. It's his channel. They're his fans that he has his relationship. If he decides to make an exception, it'll be for a good reason. But it's his channel. He's allowed to do what he wants to do with his channel. This was a response to Ethan. So EVS won't promote anyone who doesn't declare themselves as, quote, CG. What does that mean? Professionalism, respect for fans, quality books on time, bend the knee. No, it means loyalty, in quotes, to what? Not a what, who, so bend the knee. Loyalty just means you don't get invited over to someone else's channel and then disrespect that person and those fans of that channel. You can't do that. You can't. So I responded to this person, hoping to clarify for them that being on Ethan's channel, this is the meta. I'm a little older than some of these guys. I'm 49. I've been around the block a couple times. When you're invited somewhere, you have to act with some respect. You're not such a special guest, no matter how good you are, or your work is, or your reputation is, or your idea is. You're not better than other people. No one is. You walk into a place, you do it with respect. You respect the host, you respect the other guests, if there are other guests, and you respect the fans, the people investing their time, their money, and a little of themselves in developing a relationship with Ethan on his channel. It's just how it works. It's like a restaurant. It's Ethan's restaurant. That's how I look at it. And Ethan sometimes invites in little guys like me with College of the Dead, or other guys, DEATHSWORN, Carl Rowe, Super Harem, you all probably know Wanger. He helps and he invites us in to his fine restaurant to sell hors d'oeuvres. He doesn't take any of the money. He doesn't look for any favors. He doesn't make us make a loyalty pledge. He just treats us with respect and asks us to treat him and his fans on his YouTube channel with respect. As I say in the tweet, these are his customers. Ethan has a relationship with his fans. He doesn't want buyer's remorse when his fans buy comics on his show. I'm a customer and creator. I felt disappointed when Doug lied to me on Ethan's show. It means no creators on the show who lie to customers. No one who's going to come on and say, oh, I'm Comicsgate. And then the day after they don't need money anymore are going to turn around and say, well, I'm not Comicsgate. And by the way, Comicsgate hates people and Comicsgate's bad, and then run them down and use it as an opportunity, as Mr. Tenaple has said, to make enemies, because he believes, as he said in his recent video, you need to have enemies. I don't know where that comes from or what game he's trying to play, but no, I don't want to be his enemy. I don't believe Ethan wants to be Mr. Tenaple's enemy. I don't think anyone wants to be Mr. Tenaple's enemy. We don't want to be used in some sort of depraved game to create drama and nonsense. But if we're going to be invited onto Ethan's show, invited into his restaurant to sell our cute little hors d'oeuvres, and we're allowed to keep all of the money, and nothing is asked of us, we're going to say thank you, and we're going to hope that we earn the opportunity to be invited again. It's an invitation. It's not a right. And again, it doesn't matter how good you are as a talent or how great your idea is. No one cares that much about, oh, you're the best of the best. A lot of that is subjective anyway. Ethan is not going to ruin his restaurant. He's not going to ruin his channel over other people coming in and lying to them and creating a trust just to get money, or maybe not even to get money, maybe just to create enemies. Frankly, I don't know what Mr. Tenable's ideas were, what his agenda was. I only know what he's saying in his current videos about how he believes that people need to have enemies. Okay, while we're at it, College of the Dead 2 is going to be coming out soon. College of the Dead 1, as you see as I keep flipping it around, it's already in print. So you can sign up to be notified, and I hope you do. Definitely do that for me too. Sign up to be notified on this link. I'm going to put it in the description when College of the Dead 2 is going to be released. It's going to be offered and launched in October of 2019. This is one of our color covers by Javier Aranda and Farah Nomazilla. She's the colorist. And this is another one of our covers by Javier Aranda, also colored by Farah Nomazilla. And this piece is a beautiful piece that was a takeoff of some other art that he did by Narwhal. This is a zombified version of one of his pieces that Narwhal did for me. I love it. He did fantastic work. These are just amazing creators. College of the Dead 2 is actually completely done. We're just doing the final file preparation for it now. And we're going to be announcing what day it's launched soon here in November 2019. College of the Dead 1 is actually still available. You can go to collegeofthedead.com, and there are still some first printings left. It's available through Indiegogo. The link in the description will be there as well. Be sure to subscribe. Be sure to click the bell for notifications. And for the love of God, when you get invited somewhere, respect people. And don't expect an invitation. You're lucky to get an invitation. If you want to be on Ethan's show, first of all, you've got to be ComicsGate. Okay, that's what he's saying here. If you're not ComicsGate, don't make pretend. You make an embarrassment of yourself, and in the future you'll wind up with a bad reputation. If you believe in this and you want to be associated with it, great. How do you do that? Be a good person. Be involved with some of the other ComicsGate people. There's about 50 other ComicsGate YouTube channels. I have one of them. Reach out, try to get on some of those shows, get people talking about you a little bit, support other people's projects as well. You don't have to buy them, but retweet them, like them. Show that you're a decent human being that believes in the same things as other people. And then all of a sudden, yeah, maybe you'll have earned the trust to get an invitation from, if not Ethan, from me, or from one of the other 50 guys that do these channels. All right. That's the rundown. That's what this is all about. If you're interested in ComicsGate books, just do #ComicsGate on Twitter. You're going to find a lot of great comics. All right. Have a great